I would assume, and I don't know, so check out his website, but I would assume that most people maybe, I don't know what you charge, but maybe they wouldn't be able to afford to have their own landscaper. What tips would you give people to transform their garden on a budget?
Yeah. Yes and no. Of course, the service I provide is probably for a certain kind of clients, but starting a garden or having a garden doesn't necessarily have to be a expensive exercise. Like I've done my own garden and I'm growing my own garden, where I've actually collected a lot of plants through the marketplace from people that didn't want them in their gardens anymore. So, for example, I'm very passionate about tree ferns, which is a fern that only grows here in Australia, and I couldn't have them back in Italy. So now that I can, I want them all, and I collected, let's say, 14, 15 tree ferns from people that actually wanted to throw them away, and they are all mature. And I'm talking about, plants, let's say 2.5, 3 meters tall, something like that. And actually, it was really funny how how I moved them and I transported them in my own garden, because I drive a small car, and but I don't have much sense of space for in regards of my car. So I used to move and these huge plants with these very large fronds in my car, and it was a very funny scene, because you would see, I don't know, plants and fronds everywhere, and just the hands on the wheel and the face, and everything else just fronds and greenery, etc. So
It's like a jungle in the car.
yeah, something like that. Or a lot of plants can be divided and propagated by division, like actually quite easily. So I think that a good planning would be a good place where to start, and then once you know what you want, and once you understand what is your final goal, you can start to collect the plants and divide the plants, etc. And it might take a bit longer, but who cares? I mean, it doesn't have to be. I think that when they say the most interesting part is actually the journey and not the destination, because the destination with gardens changes constantly. So you start with an idea, or you start with some plants that you want, and then you see something else and you want that. So everything changes.
Right.
The color scheme changes. So it's a bit of a process that you have to accept. You never finish.
It's a living project.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But it doesn't have to be expensive.
Right. Do you have a photo of you in that car with all the surroundings?
No, actually not.
It's
Yes,
a shame.
yeah, no, it's a shame.
So in our email correspondence, you mentioned the importance of gardens for immigrant communities as a way to maintain a connection to their home country. Can you elaborate on that as a concept?
Well, I mean, growing plants is part of our identity, especially, talking about Italians. And if you think about, how many Italians, that grow a vegetable garden, and how many Italians, grow in their vegetable gardens, maybe plants that they used to grow back in Italy. So it's like, we try to recreate through gardens or kitchen gardens moments or feelings or aspects of a life that in some ways is not there anymore, and we keep it alive in this way. I do the same, like when I design, and maybe you're doing the same without knowing it. I definitely have all my memories of when I was a kid are deeply linked to the garden I grew up with. So all the birthday parties, all the most important moments of my life, my first kiss in the garden, or parties with friends, endless summers, when I was at school, school holiday, etc. All the fun. I have so many memories that are linked with the garden. And I probably, when I design, I probably try to recreate that happiness, that lightness, that sense of
Nostalgia.
protection. Yeah, absolutely. Sense of protection. The all those dreams that I had in terms of what am I gonna do when I be older, etc., etc., etc. That is very important for me. It's something that I keep very much in mind when I'm working with someone. So I always try to understand the kind of lifestyle the people I'm working for have, and I keep in mind. I try to give them, the perfect background. Sorry, for all the future memories that they're gonna have in the garden.
Yeah, that's a really lovely way to put it. It just reminds me, yeah, when I think about summer holidays growing up, a huge part of that backdrop, the sort of background of those memories, involves my Zia's garden, which had this massive fig tree, and I just loved summers. I spent a lot of time at her house, and I think that provided a very kind of important backdrop for me when I'm remembering that time.
And sorry, do you think that, like, because we mentioned before that you wanted to grow a fig tree, and do you think that you want to grow a fig tree because it's linked to that memory?
I think so. I'm very much chasing my youth.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I'm trying to get that time back. No, look, probably. I think so. Just like really beautiful memories, and there's a sense of calm and familiarity that comes from thinking about that tree. Did you enjoy that clip? Did you not? It doesn't matter to me. Subscribe. For the love of God.